Hi everybody, welcome back to today's video. I'm going to show you how to design this particular flyer or poster in Photoshop. It's a birthday poster. Let's step into Photoshop. I'm going to show you the step by step. This is going to be interesting. Let's go to file, let's go to new, let's go to the document dimensions, and then let's change it to the one that we want. I'm going to use A4 size, so I'm going to go to print and then I'm going to select A4. I'm going to maintain these dimensions. I'm going to call it B day. All right, and then I'll click on create. That's the first part. Now I'm going to bring in the image as well. Now most of the time I like to design with a grid, all right, or a layout. I do that because I want my artwork to be really aligned. So I'm going to go to view, then I'll go to new guides layout. I'll set here to 8. I'll click on the rule and I'll set here to 8 as well. Then this size I'll maintain them 0. Doesn't really matter. Okay, once you are done, click on OK. All right, now you can see the image falls in the middle like that. This is perfect. All right, so I'm going to put it in a group. I'll call it Control G to put it in a group. Double click it and call it image. Awesome. And then the next thing I'm also going to do is start with the background. Now with the background, I'm going to make the background quite interesting and rich. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it step by step. All right, so I'm just going to maintain this for the background. I'm going to add more to it as we proceed. So Control G again, put it in the group, call it BG for background. I'll come back to it, but for the meantime I also want us to go and then let's drag in this one, drag it all the way into Photoshop and then drag it up somewhere around here. I believe is good. I'll click on OK and then maybe perhaps drag it up a little bit more. Now I'll go to the character and then I'll go to this one. Okay, no, that's not going to work. Okay, so I'm going to double click it and then I'll go to color overlay, then I'll click over here. I'm going to give it this color code 910015. okay, this color is the one I'm going to give. Okay, now most of the colors I'm using, it's because the color is already in the background somewhere. Okay, so it really makes it stand out. I still feel like Control H, I still feel like this doesn't really stand out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it more effect. I'll double click on it again and then this time I am going to utilize drop shadow. I'm going to use drop shadow in a different way. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here and I'll pick any of the yellowish color there. Okay, once you have done that, let's pick any of the yellowish color there. All right, once you are done, set this side to linear dodge. All right, and then the opacity, I'm going to set the opacity to 83 thereabout, the angle 90, and then also the distance, let's use 0. We don't want it to be like that. And the spread, let's use 9. Okay, all right, and then the size, let's use 142. This is the color code you're going to be using and this is the settings you're going to use. Click on OK. So Control H, let's see, Control T. You can see it falls in the middle there of the line. That is what we are looking for. That is what, guys, you want to achieve. So I believe you are done with this. Now let's also bring in the name, and so the name is Alexis. I am going to type over here, then I'm going to paste the name there. It needs to be on top of that. In fact, this also, maybe we could put this one in the background. We could include this in the background, right? It's not really going to do anything. Alright, so Alexis is the name. We are going to use a different font. We are going to use Waltography. Okay, it's a text that is used by Walt Disney often, and so I'm going to use it. Waltography, this one. Let's use this one. Okay, so I'm going to use that one regular, and then I'm going to give it a high value of the font. I'm going to give it, let's say 200. Okay, all right, now it's too big, I can't see anything, so I'm going to take this one off. Nice. And then I'm going to make the tracking here, let's make it 0. all right, so that we can actually see everything well. So I'm going to make it 0. Nice. And then I'm going to Control T and put it in the middle as well. You can see it falls in the middle here. Nice. I'm going to drag it somewhere there. All right, so the next thing is we need to change the color. All right, so to change the color, what we are going to do, guys, also remember this horizontal should be 120. all right, really important. Double click on it and then we're going to give it this, dark brick color as well. So let's go to gradient overlay, click here, and then I want to see what is happening. So I'm going to double click here and then I'm going to click on 910015. okay, for that, right? And then this side we need to make sure the value is a little bit, you know, brighter. FF410E. Okay, so you can see dark, then the brighter side a little bit here. Then let's look at it. Okay, so I like the way it looks over here so far. I'm going to keep the opacity here 100. All right, I'm also going to keep the angle 90 there. I'm going to keep it linear here. All right, I think everything is good. The scale I'm looking for, I think I'll set the scale maybe to 70 something, maybe 74 will do. Then I'm going to drag it down a bit more. All right, so this is good, but then I also want to go to drop shadow, and then drop shadow. I'm still going to maintain the settings over here. I'll just make a few tweaks. Okay, so I'm going to set this side to 40, that's the opacity to 40, and then I'm going to set the size over here to 3. Then the spread, I'm going to set it to 14, and then the size, I'm going to set it to 169, and that is all. I'll click on OK. Then I'll also type somewhere here, I'm going to type small g, make sure it's a small letter, small g. But then I'm going to use another font. See, I'm using 3 or 4 fonts so far. I think 3 fonts. Holy Mount. But I'm going to use Holy Mount Swash. Okay, Holy Mount Swash. Really important, guys. Really important. Holy Mount Swash. You drag it this way. Drag it this way. That is it. Push it somewhere here. We drag it this way as well. Awesome. I'll just select any of the colors here. That is all. Alright, so that is it. I'm going to put it in the group. I'll call it the name. Alright, so that is the name of it, and then we are going to move on to some glows. Okay, now if you study my flyers, I like to add a lot of glows to it. I'm going to pick my brush here. I'll come to this side. I'll pick soft round brush, then I'll close it. Okay, I make sure my caps lock is also off so that I can see the size of the brush, the tip of it, how it looks like. Now I like to pick the yellowish color here. Sometimes I pick just white. I'm going to paste it here like that. Then I'll go and I'll set it to linear dodge. Nice. Now what I'm going to do is I'll click on my move tool, and then I'll move it somewhere here. I also want to make sure it is quite enlarged, something like this. It adds some realistic touch to it. I'll duplicate it again, and then I'll bring it here on the face here. But this time I'm going to reduce the opacity. The spill alone on the face makes it real. Okay, gives it some realistic touch. I'm going to call it glow, and that is with the glow. Let's type our date in there. I'm going to pick the value of the date. I think that's the entire font we are going to be using. I'm going to set it to Montserrat. Alright, so I like using Montserrat a lot. I'll use Montserrat medium, I guess. And then the size over here, I want it to be quite small, so use a small size over there. I used 13. Sorry, I'll push that one here. I'm going to set it to color black so that it can be visible. I'll also make it all caps. Good, and then let's make it 14. Also, what else can we do to it? We need to make sure it's all caps, like I said. We also need to make sure it's color black, like I said. And then this side, the tracking, make it 400. And then that is it. You control T, control H. You also want to make sure it's in the middle of everything, guys. Middle of everything. If possible, let's go back. Let's bring this one down a bit more. All right, and then so that we can bring the date down a bit more. Nice. Now I believe we are left with much of the background. So guys, this is how I'm going to make the background epic. Guys, pay attention. I'm going to drag in this one first. I'll drag it all the way in there, and I'm going to release it. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to perhaps resize it a bit more. All right. Okay, control H. You can see it's also in the middle of it. That is what I'm looking for. It should be in the middle of it. If possible, even drag it this way. Good. Then I'm going to give it mask. Pick my brush tool over here. Make sure my caps lock is off. And then I'm going to set this side to color black. Then I'll come and click on the mask here, and I'm going to mask this side, guys. Mask that side. Mask that side. But I want the text above the head to show. All right, to show a bit. So that's how it's going to be. This alone is epic, right? But we're still not going to stop there. We are going to, let's see. All right, so guys, you see the drop shadow here. Hold Alt, drag the drop shadow on top of it. That is it, just like that. It looks great so far, looks great. Okay, now we also need to add a few stuff to it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a ribbon to it. I'm going to drag this ribbon and I'm going to drag it there like that. Then I'm going to right click it and clockwise. Let's see. I don't know whether clockwise would do. Clockwise I think would do. Alright, so clockwise would do. This is great. And then I'm going to give it a mask. So guys, set aside to color black, pick your brush tool. Alright, and then I'm going to click clean that one. The ones you want to retain, clean them. Okay, so you are free to do whatever you want to do. The ones you want to maintain, click them. I'm going to maintain this one. I'm going to maintain this one. I'll also maintain this one. What else would I maintain? What else would I maintain? Maybe perhaps I'll maintain this one. Right, I'll maintain this one as well. Maintain that one. Maintain this one. Okay, maintain that one. So double click it and then properties. Alright, so that is it. So you can see we have it like this now. It looks cool. We also need to bring in some rows. Okay, we also need to bring in some rows. Let's see. We also need to bring in some rows. Let's drag these rows in there. Okay, and then let's resize it. Let's drag it this way. Drag it here. Drag it there. All right. Okay, but I don't want the rows to be in focus. Okay, I want it to blend with the background. So we are going to do one thing. We are going to filter. We are going to caution. We are going to blur. We are going to caution blur. Okay, we are going to set it to 11. Let's check. Yeah, 11 or maybe 12 will do. 12 will do. Yeah, duplicate it and then click on your move tool and then move it here. This time you want to rotate it as well and then resize it as well and then push it somewhere there. Exactly. And now everything seems to be okay now. Okay, so we are done with everything. Let's put this in the group. Let's call it date. Everything has to be nicely grouped. Let's call it date. We are going to merge everything together. Control Alt Shift and then E. Hold everything together like that to merge all the layers into one. I'm going to right click it. I'll convert it to a smart object. Okay, that's the first step. Now guys, pay attention. What I'm going to do next is it's really important. Click on the filter, go to camera raw filter. We need to adjust a few slides over there. I'm going to temperature. I'm going to set it to 3 because it's already yellowish and I don't want it to be too, yellowish too much. So 3 is enough. Then I'm going to come down to contrast. I'm going to set contrast to maybe 14. Good. Then I'm going to vibrance. I'll set vibrance to 8. Nice. I'll come back to here. Okay, you can see the click on saturation. We just want to mess with the saturations. The red is going to be 18, the orange is going to be 31, the yellow is going to be 27, the green is going to be 33, and then the aqua is going to be, let's say, 45, and then the blue is going to be 50, and then the purple is going to be 33, and then the magenta is going to be 34. Okay, now you can see how all of a sudden the whole thing is brightened up. We're going to maintain it like this, and then we are going to FX over here. The grain here, let's set the grain to 22 to add some few grains to it, and then the vignette, okay, or the vignette, we want to make it minus 32. All right, that is it. And then finally guys, you also want to go to the adjustments down here and then go and look for vibrance. And then the vibrance, don't touch the saturation, the vibrance, drag it all the way to 100. All right, that is it. You are done with this artwork. Okay guys, if you love this video, hit the bell icon and subscribe to this channel. Don't forget, there are more videos coming. I want to make sure that you up your game in graphic designing, so I'm still going to make more videos like this. I love you all guys. See you in the next one. Peace out.